Alright, so some time ago I challenged myself to do squats every day for 30 days, and actually those 30 days ended yesterday, but it just happens to be a leg day today as well, so looks like we'll be squatting for one more day, but let's talk about what happened, right? I mean, what I can say with confidence is that I got stronger. I mean, it would be a bit sad, right, if I squatted every day and didn't see any progress, but my one rep max of 52 kilos went up to two reps of 54 kilos. So not only did I increase the weight that I could squat, I also increased the reps. So very happy with that. And that was actually at like day 24 or something. So I didn't even use all of my time. But ever since then, I've just been building my base again. So, when you are training, you can train for strength, you can train for hypertrophy. And what you do when you train for strength, right, is you can kind of compare it to like a power lifter. You have your gym guys, the bodybuilder guys, they train for muscle size, and you have the power lifters, and they do the same exercises, kind of, right? They do the squat, the bench, and deadlift. I mean, when you look at a power lifter, he trains the bench, right? His training approach is different than the one of the bodybuilder. The bodybuilder does heavy sets, for muscle building, go to failure to the max to get the maximum stimulus for hypertrophy. While the powerlifter, he will, not go to his maximum, but he will do more sets, more volume, more frequency in order to like build the pattern. He wants to build up his muscles specifically for that one exercise so that he can become very strong at it. And that's kind of the same thing with, doing something every day is you're allowing your body to get used to a certain movement pattern. I mean, you can build muscle, right? But you can also, let your muscle adapt to certain exercises. And by letting your muscle adapt to the exercises, it will be, very specifically developed. Your nerves will be very specifically developed for the one thing, right? It will be good at that one thing, and you will be like very strong at it, even though you might not be very big. For example, the calisthenics guys, many of those guys do planche and front lever, for which you have to be strong, but they're skinny, right? So they're not big, but they are very strong. If they go to the gym, they can bench a lot of weight relatively to their body weight, or they can do a lot of pull downs, whatever, right? But they're relatively strong because they train for strength rather than size. And that's kind of what I've been doing with this one. Of course, you train for strength. You see a power lifter, he builds some muscle, right? Especially like the bigger guys, those guys are very muscular. And vice versa, you see a bodybuilder, he's very big, he's gonna have some strength on the bench as well. It's not because you do one thing that you get zero gains of the other thing, right? It's not because you focus on hypertrophy that you get no strength. It's not because you focus on strength that you get zero hypertrophy. No, you get a bit of both, but it's just kind of like the focus you want to put on it, right? What do you want to focus on? And on those last couple of days here, or the last 30 days here, for me, it was all in on the technique basically of the pistol squat, and it resulted in some good gains. So very happy with that. If you want to have like a short boost in your strength, if like your muscle adaptation, try it. Try it for 30 days. Do a planche for 30 days every day. Do a front lever for 30 days every day. Of course, don't go hard every day, right? You up the frequency, you have to tone down the intensity. But yeah, you will learn a lot about the technique, and I feel like in a short time you will be able to get stronger. So that's it regarding my impressions on the 30-day squat challenge. Now let's do some more squats, right? We have a leg day. Actually, I'm gonna start outside with the Nordic curls as always. Try to get those suckers stronger and stronger than before. And yeah, after that, we will do some squats. So I'll catch you outside. Okay, you know the drill. So we're gonna start off with Nordic curl holds with my hands behind my back, or my head, I should say. And this is kind of, the equivalent of a weighted planche. You do the weighted planche so that afterwards the normal planche can feel light. And in this case, it's the same because I'm doing a more difficult progression. I'm doing my hands behind my head so that afterwards I can feel lighter on the regular Nordic curl. So let's get going. 3 sets. Hopefully we can get 10 seconds or something. We'll see. Looks like 9 is my limit. Alright. I think 2 sets might be enough today. Lately, you know, the progress on the Nordic curl hold has been slowing down, so I'm gonna have to figure out what to do there. Maybe take a bit of a longer rest in between trainings. But nonetheless, we got up all the way to here, past the fucking peak strength, you know. We are reaching new heights, so it's logical that the progress will slow down a little bit. But hey, from there on, progress slows down, progress stops. Well, are you gonna stop training, or are you gonna continue? You know, there's only one option that will most likely give you extra gains. So we're just gonna figure out a different way, you know, to have a bit of a roundabout to extra gains. For now, I'm gonna move on to the next exercise. Probably just a Nordic curl max attempt. Let's see. Fuck. We're getting weaker, boys. Let's do a couple more sets to finish off with some finger assistance and then have a little discussion inside. Okie dokie, so I think I've mentioned this before, but basically in training, you want to throw something at the wall, right? And see if it sticks. And if it sticks, you can keep using it, right? It's also like the fucking cake recipe. If your recipe is making a delicious cake and you're not tired of it, you can keep making the recipe. You can keep eating the cake, aka making the gains. It's kind of the same thing. But when you get bored of your cake, you know, when your fucking glue is coming off the wall, that's when you have to change things up. And that's kind of what's happening with the Nordic curls at the moment, right? It's kind of what's happening with the daily squatting as well. Like you do something for a while, at first it's gonna work because you're doing something new, you have a new stimulus. It's kind of like experiencing newbie gains. And then, you know, you get into kind of a wall and it's difficult to progress from there. And at that point, you know, of course you have to do, like keep doing the same exercises if you want to make the exercise strong, but you can kind of switch up the way that you're doing things, you know? You throw something new at the wall. You throw something new at the wall. You change up your cake recipe, right? And you do something new and you're going to make new gains. So for me, the Nordic curl, I've been doing these Nordic curl holds for God knows how long. It's like it's been several months. I didn't really expect to even get to this position in the first place where I'm doing it with my hands behind my back, but hey, here we are. I'm not complaining. I'm way stronger than I've ever been before. So, it worked for a long time. I'm very happy with it. Now it might be time to just look for something different. And, that's something we'll figure out in the next training. For now, it's time for pistol squats. The same thing here. I did pistol squats every day for a while. It kind of stopped working at like day 25, then the progress started diminishing. But hey, we got up from like a 52 kilo squat to a 54 kilo squat for 2 reps, which is amazing, right? So now I'm just gonna, start some new training, aka I'm building up my basics with some slow and controlled squats in a lower weight. So last time I think I did 30 kilos for 6 reps. Today I'm gonna try 32 for 5 reps, 3 sets. Kind of similar training, but that's kind of the moral of the story, right? You do different trainings, but in the end they're all similar because you're doing the same exercise to get hella strong at that exercise, If you're gonna become strong and you eat enough, you're gonna look strong as well. You're gonna build some muscle. So it's kind of like, for me, the all-in-one package. And it might be different for everyone, but at the moment, I'm really enjoying this. So 32 kilos on the pistol squats. I'm first gonna do my warm-up set, of course. Just one single rep to see how it feels. But after that, we got some horse cocking to do. And I fucking forgot to place that shit under the mat, or the towel under the mat. If you don't know, that's just to help with flexibility, which is not my forte. All right, let's do some squats. Okay, so when it comes to training intensity, there is still some room to up the level, Today was not very intense for those pistol squats, but that's okay because I'm just starting to build up my base, I want to get stronger bit by bit, and even though I feel like I can do more, I could do the same training today with 36 kilos, for example, right? And I wouldn't have much more issues. It's important, I think, to just be patient for a while and let your body recover from a previous hard training cycle, and then also just build up the base slowly, You start having a little bit of leeway, and then you slowly move up, and before you know it, your intensity, it will be higher. Your body will not be able to catch up 100% anymore, and you're starting to really build up into the next peak, and that's what I'm gonna do. It will take time, but it will be worth it in the end. So what I'm gonna do now is one more set, or 3 more sets, I guess, of some pistol squat holds. Now, this is not a power exercise like the Nordic curl hold. It's an isometric, but it's more for mobility, I want to be able to do a pistol squat without any help under my heels, just on the flat floor, nothing to help my flexibility. Would be nice if I could do a pistol squat. And the truth is, I cannot do a single pistol squat on the floor, just like that. I just fall over. It's not a power issue, of course. It's just that I'm not flexible enough. And I think, I am I am able to put something under my heels. I am able to do pistol squats that way, but it is a weak spot that I have to acknowledge nonetheless, right? So I'm gonna try working on this more and more. You will either see me doing deep lunges, or you will see me doing these pistol squats, holds, right? Just something to improve mobility, which I think is very important. So let's go with 3 rounds of 20 seconds isometrics. It's fucking difficult. I feel it in my hip. All right. That might be more difficult than the main sets. I have a lot more work to do. But hey, I mentioned this for the Nordic curls as well, right? The only way I'm gonna get better at this, or anything for that matter, is to keep doing it over and over again. So next time, you can bet your buns that I will be doing this again. Let's sit down and discuss. All right, so these puppies, these two chicken thighs, they're hidden in the running pants, but they're feeling quite sturdy, I'm very happy. So today's training, I think it was a good one, right? I mean, of course, it's a bummer that the Nordic curls are kind of starting to slope off. The progress is not going as fast anymore. But it was starting to get a little too good to be true, right? I mean, I was riding the wave for months upon months. And, it's not like if you're suddenly, not making as much progress anymore, that you're having a bad day, right? It's not like that it's a bad training, because either you have a very good training and you can just enjoy the progress and keep doing what you're doing, or your progress starts to slow down, right? And you're about to learn something new about how you can still progress, right? How you can take it to the next level. So no matter what you do in your training, there's always something positive going on. Either, you progress or you learn. It's one of those. So really, there is no waste of time. And yeah, today, very happy with that training. Regarding the pistol squats, right? Of course, I'm not going to continue squatting daily. It just takes too much energy, like compared to the progress that it's still giving me. So I'm not going to do that anymore. Tomorrow will be the first day in more than a month that I haven't squatted. But nonetheless, I'm very happy that I did the challenge. I learned a lot, especially the technique. Yeah, like you can't underestimate that. It's for planche, it's for front lever. Force yourself to do it for 30 days every day, right? First of all, you're going to have to find out what your base level is. How the hell can you continue doing something daily with recovery in regard, right? How you can still recover. For me, I had to find it out as well. In the beginning, I was doing way too heavy of a pistol squat on a daily basis, and I wasn't able to recover anymore. If you do this for any other technique as well, right? Any other exercise, you're going to find out the same thing, because you're used to a training intensity that you're doing every few days, and now all of a sudden you're trying to do something daily. You're going to have to lower it down, but also you're going to find out how you can train it and be there on a daily basis, right? You will find out, like, first of all, that's like a good thing, and then you will also find out about the technique, right? In the planche, how do I push myself up, right? How do I decrease the lean? How do I get higher up in the planche, right? All those things. How do I hold my legs up? All those things you can learn for any technique. And yeah, I think it's a good challenge that you just, no questions asked, do something 30 days. You can learn a lot from that. But yeah, regarding the squats, I'm just gonna build my base up slowly. I started with 30 kilos for 5 reps, and now I'm doing 32 kilos for 5 reps. It still feels quite easy. Every couple of trainings, I'm gonna try and keep my leg days at once every 3 days. They won't be the most intense leg days because I have to recover for the next one always. But, every now and then there will be an increase in 2 kilos for the squats that I'm doing, right? And if I can build up my base to do like 5 reps of squats for 3 sets on 40 kilos, I've already tremendously increased my strength. It's something I've never done. In fact, I think my PR for 40 kilos at the moment, it's like 4 reps. I mean, I can do more for sure. Actually, I should check my PR, but I can do more for sure. But like, if I can do like controlled past sets of 40 kilos for 5 reps, that's something I can work towards, right? And it can take me more than a month. But if I get there, it's like a big level up at base level, right? And then from there, I can go Super Saiyan, just like Goku. You build up your base in the base form, right? In the black hair Goku form. And then basically, from there, you're still able to recover because you're not pushing yourself immensely hard. You're just doing more frequency. And then once you want to peak, that's where you slowly go Super Saiyan, right? You slowly ramp up the intensity. And basically, from there, you can do like 1 rep maxes or max hold attempts in the planche or front lever, whatever you want to do. So that's kind of the plan going forward. And I'm really, really excited for how it's going to go because 40 kilos for like base level, it sounds fucking crazy, but also realistic. Like these things are now becoming realistic. And it sounds crazy to me because at one point 40 kilos was my 1 rep max. And yeah, that's just exciting stuff to look forward to. That is what gets me excited, you know, the thick thighs and the legs or whatever. You know, it's fun to have, of course, but if it wasn't for the squats and getting stronger at them, I wouldn't care about it that much. So I'll see you tomorrow for a push day. Yes, I'm gonna have some breakfast now.